Hi, you are listening to Daily Bible Verses, which is recited by BSR. First reading, it is taken from the first book of Samuel, chapter 17, verses 32 to 33, 37, 40 to 51. The Philistines gathered their armies for battle and encamped opposite the Israelites. And there came out of the Philistine camp a champion named Goliath, who challenged the Israelites to choose a man to fight with him. All the Israelites, when they saw Goliath, fled from him and were very much afraid. David said to Saul, "Let no one heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine." Saul said to David, "You are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are just a boy, and he has been a warrior from his youth." David said, "The Lord who saved me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear will save me from the hand of this Philistine." And so Saul said to David, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." Then he took his staff in his hand and chose 5 smooth stones from the wadi and put them in his shepherd's bag. In this pouch his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. The Philistine came on and drew near to David with his shield bearer in front of him. When the Philistine looked and saw David, he disdained him, for he was only a youth, ruddy and handsome in appearance. The Philistine said to David, "Am I a dog, that you come to me with sticks?" And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, "Come to me, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and to the wild animals of the field." But David said to Philistine, "You come to me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of the hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This very day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down and cut off your head, and I will give the dead bodies of the Philistine army this very day to the birds of the air and to the wild animals of the earth, so that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel, and that this assembly may know that the Lord does not save by sword and spear. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hand." When the Philistine drew nearer to meet David, David ran quickly toward the battle. To meet Philistine, David put his hand in his bag, took out a stone, slung it, and struck it the Philistine on his forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone, and striking down the Philistine and killing him. There was no sword in David's hand. Then David ran and stood over the Philistine. He grasped the Philistine's sword, drew it out of the sheath, and killed him. Then he cut off his head with it. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they fled. This is the word of the Lord. Gospel reading. It is taken from the Mark chapter 3, verses 1 to 6. Jesus entered the synagogue, and the man was there who had withered hand. The Pharisees watched Jesus to see whether he would cure him on the Sabbath, so that they might accuse him. And Jesus said to the man who had withered hand, "Come forward." Then he said to the Pharisees, "Is it lawful to do good or to do harm on the Sabbath, to save a life or to kill. But they were silent. Jesus looked around at them with anger. He was grieved with hardness of heart and said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He stretched it out, and his hand was restored. The Pharisees went out immediately, conspired with the Herodians against Jesus, how to destroy him. This is the word of the Lord. Thank you everyone for listening to Daily Bible Verses. Please do subscribe and share. Please stay tuned for the next episode. Signing off.